You know me. The people who know me know I like to end each evening with a glass of scotch, watch some Fox News. And last night I'm watching, and I can't remember which guy. It was either the really angry guy or the really angry guy. And I see Dr. Seuss is canceled. And I'm a little ashamed to admit it. I was happy to hear that. This is not a long-standing beef that I've had with Dr. Seuss, but ever since I've become a dad, I can tell you that the book Hop on Pop is worse than Mein Kampf. Just to encourage children to surreptitiously hop on their pop. And for me, my ribs are like fine china. Turns out, though, that was not the issue. The issue is that some of Dr. Seuss's books, 6 of them, had some racist imagery, and the Dr. Seuss Foundation, Dr. Seuss Enterprises, I don't know exactly what it was, decided to stop production on those 6 books. They were not ones I will admit to knowing particularly well. The Cat's Quizzer, On Beyond Zebra, Scrambled Egg Super, which is his most famous egg-based book. And some people, were up in arms because this happened. And I don't want to judge these books that I don't know. I'm sure to some people, those are their favorite Dr. Seuss books, and it would be nice. I mean, hopefully they can find a way, because these are not 6 racist books. I think there is some imagery that is racist, and it would be nice if they could fix those books and maybe just take out those drawings. And then if you read the new one that just has those pages out, if you read that and you think, I prefer the original, then you would know that you're a racist. And I think that's just a good thing to know, because I think a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not racist. And they're like, oh, no, I miss the old ones. I am. So he's not really canceled. Also, I was looking. Dr. Seuss made the second most money of any dead person last year. $33 million. He made LeBron James money last year. You could argue death didn't cancel Dr. Seuss. The only person who made more money, Michael Jackson, was a children's author who wrote the book Hop on the King of Pop. $33 million, that is a lot of sneeches. With that said, and again, I love Dr. Seuss a great deal, and I'm very happy that he's not actually canceled. And again, it would be nice if all his books could be available, minus the racist imagery. Babar, on the other hand, problem city. Reading Babar to my kids, and again, this isn't about, like page 2, anybody who has Babar knows this, Mom shot by Hunter. And I know you might be thinking, Bambi, shot by Hunter too, but Bambi's a movie, so you just, your kids can't ask 100 questions, because you can just go, let's meet Thumper. The book, they just want to keep going back at. But that's, whatever. You can talk to your kids about, what the bummer is in anything where the mom dies is the next thing is and now the adventure begins. The wonderful world that you find when a hunter takes out mom. But, yeah, Babar, the thing that happens is in the first book, he's got a couple of cousins, Arthur and Celeste. And then you meet them, and then later in the book, just at the very end, Arthur marries Celeste. For real. And you as a parent, you're like, what? And you're flipping back. You want to say, was there a second Celeste? And I'm sure in France, it's like, oh, the elephant marries a cousin. This is not a big deal. No wonder Polanski went there. Maybe if you're gonna look the other way on Babar. But I also want to stress that I get why Fox News is upset, because their number one issue, if you watch it as much as I do, is child literacy. I read, but I did read a lot about Dr. Seuss today, and he also, as a political cartoonist in the 40s in World War II, he did have a lot of anti-Japanese racist cartoons, and supposedly he did realize later he felt bad about it, and supposedly, and again, I'm not a Dr. Seuss scholar, but Horton Hears a Who was a sort of an apology. That he actually went to Japan post-war and he saw what had happened. He talked to Japanese school children. And a person's a person, no matter how small, was sort of his means of making amends, which I think shows, there's two ways to look at it. You can say, oh, here's a person who created something, and then as time passed, he evolved and, he had more empathy. Or you could say that, he canceled himself. But I think the reality is we could learn a lot from Dr. Seuss, who made $33 million last year. I mean, he's going to make less this year because he's not going to get money from McElligot's Pool. McElligot's Pool. But anyway, that's what happens when you watch Fox News at night.